What game comes to mind when you hear the words Assassin's Creed? For most people, it's Assassin's Creed 2, and for others, it's Assassin's Creed Unity. People think of these older games instead of some of the newer ones because no matter what flaws these games had, no matter how glitchy they were or how bad the gameplay was, at their core, these games were and still are Assassin's Creed. They have a core set of rules and identity, something the RPG saga of Assassin's Creed games lacks heavily. And in my opinion, the one game that shouldn't even be called an Assassin's Creed game is Assassin's Creed Odyssey, a game infamously hated by majority of the Assassin's Creed community for a plethora of reasons. One of the biggest reasons for this hate is the game's story itself. Most claim it to be lackluster at best, and others say it's absolutely terrible. So I set out to see if the narrative of Assassin's Creed Odyssey was as bad as they say, and what I found was much more disappointing. You see, the Assassin's Creed franchise is known to have some of the best and most compelling story writing in the gaming industry. It's beautiful how every single game's narrative bleeds into the next, providing answers to questions the previous title left unacknowledged. A perfect example of this is the relationship between Altair and Ezio. At the ending of Assassin's Creed 1, players are left questioning what the Apple of Eden really is and what does Altair's future hold. Ubisoft then introduces Ezio Auditore La Firenze in the next game, Assassin's Creed 2. And with the stories of Assassin's Creed 2 throughout Brotherhood, and then finally Revelations, more and more about what and who the Isu were and what happened to Altair after the events of Assassin's Creed 1 is revealed. And to tie it all together, at the end of Assassin's Creed Revelations, after 4 games of intricately woven storylines that connect to each other wonderfully, we get to see the best Assassin's Creed ending to date. Ezio finally meeting Altair under the ruins of Masyaf, ending both of their stories and furthering the modern-day plot as well. Odyssey tries to do something similar, but fails miserably. You see, the reason that the story of Altair and Ezio worked so well was because all of the games those narratives unfolded in were linear, and the already established characters developed and grew with the unfolding narratives. Odyssey, however, gives players a choice. The game has a few different storylines progressing at the same time. There is a storyline of Alexios or Cassandra with their family, the Atlantis storyline, the Cult of Cosmos storyline, and lastly, the modern day. All of these narratives give the player character a choice of what they want to do. So you might ask, what's so bad about giving the player options to choose from in their playthroughs? The game is marketed to be your Odyssey after all. Well, I wouldn't have any problems with any of that if it actually worked. Assassin's Creed Odyssey gives the player a character who already has a backstory and should have established traits, but they don't. The game gives you the choice to make Cassandra or Alexios into the person you think they should be, but the thing is, it just does not work. The main character doesn't grow at all during the events of AC Odyssey, because the concept of choice itself is completely false in this game. None of the choices you make lead you anywhere, nor do they build character. It's just empty words that stop being impactful as soon as you leave the dialogue screen. The truth is that most choices the player makes don't change a thing. It's a different journey, but the same conclusion almost every time. A perfect example of this is the ending of the Atlantis storyline. You see, while playing Odyssey, the player is given quote-unquote choices which they can use to build their character as either good or evil. Now let's say you built your Alexios or Cassandra as a completely evil person. You let all of your family members die, you kill the ghost of Cosmos without giving it a second thought, and then it comes time for the Atlantis storyline, where you and your father, Pythagoras, find the lost city of Atlantis and try to uncover the secrets of the Isu. That's all cool. The problem rises when at the end, Alexios or Cassandra, your Alexios or Cassandra, the character you thought you built to be completely evil, does a complete 180 and kills Pythagoras for the good of the world, refusing all of the power that they would wield from uncovering the secrets of the Isu. And the funny thing is, nothing changes if you choose to make your hero a good person. All choices lead to the same ending. It doesn't matter how many members of your family you killed. It doesn't matter if you destroyed the cult of Cosmos. It doesn't matter if you chose to kill a whole village of civilians, because you can just hold a button on the map screen to pay off the mercenaries. You are only given the illusion of having a choice, because whatever you do always leads to the same ending. You see, the story tries to be as deep as the stories of AC1 through Revelations, but it fails before it even starts. Odyssey doesn't have any core values. The characters do nothing remarkable while you play the game. You don't connect to the character you are playing as, nor any of the people you meet. And at the end, when Layla meets Alexios or Cassandra in the flesh, it just feels like Ubisoft is trying to leverage nostalgia into making you like their game instead of actually making a good one. To be honest, nothing about Odyssey feels like Assassin's Creed. From changing the loading screens to using a broken spear instead of the hidden blade, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is far from its roots, and unfortunately, that's not always a good thing. Hopefully, in the future, the people over at Ubisoft learn from their past mistakes and give us a true and authentic experience of playing an Assassin's Creed game. Thank you for watching.